Hi, YouTube. I was just watching a mini documentary, as they put it, called A Brave New Vegan World. Okay, so this is this is merely a shameless proselytization by by what sounds like a Catholic. uh, and an anti-vegan message in one. Um, so, first of all, there's something really funny about anti-vegan Christians to me, because they're indicted by their own religion, namely. Now, uh, here's the thing. The first thing that I'd mention is that in the Bible, Jesus makes it really clear that most Christians are completely hypocritical. The only reason that most of them believe the way they do is because they were told, instead of actually using discernment. So here, in Matthew 5:17 to 19, um, Jesus says, "Do not think I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not an iota, not a dot will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Therefore, whoever relaxes one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven, but whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven." Now, the thing, this is what's so hilarious about modern preachers, is that they go on after reading this, and then they say, "You don't have to follow the Noahide laws anymore because Jesus fulfilled the law." Okay. Um, I simply can't point out enough how heretical this is. And it's not being a Pharisee to point that out. It's reading. It's basic reading. And we are looking at the Spirit, not the law. But the Spirit is, stop ignoring the law completely. I mean, he literally made a point to say, "Don't," and I mean it. That, and if you're ignoring that Spirit, then you will be called the least. So anyway, I only say that to point out that just because it's in the Old Testament, doesn't mean that you get to ignore it. And finally, uh, let me show you the analogy to prove my point here, because I think it's obvious, but a lot of preachers are just, they just want a flock of sheep that don't think. They just want them to be blissfully dumb instead of knowing what their Bible says and understanding it. They don't want understanding. They want money. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, when someone comes to fulfill their duties, because that's exactly what Jesus was doing here, is he was fulfilling his duties. He wasn't abolishing them, and he made a point to say that. When you go to work and you clock in, does this make any sense to you? So, your duties when you clock in are to sweep the floor, wipe the counters, serve food to every customer that comes in. Now imagine that your friend, Jesse, comes in before you. And Jesse does exactly that. He sweeps the floors, he wipes the counters, and he serves food to all the customers that come up. Now, you clock in, and Jesse leaves, and you sit on your ass for the entire shift, and you do nothing, and your boss comes over and says, "What the fuck are you doing? There's customers lining up outside the store because they're waiting for you to serve them. Why am I getting complaints about you doing nothing? This place is a mess. You haven't swept the floor once in 3 hours. What's going on?" And your response is, "Jesse fulfilled his duties." Is that going to be an adequate response to your boss? Because Jesse did what he was supposed to do. Now you don't have to. He fulfilled his shift. He fulfilled his work. But that means you don't have to anymore. Even when your boss, it makes it clear. Just because Jesse did this doesn't... I mean, Jesse even told you that he didn't abolish the work. He just did his part while he was here. Do you understand? Do you get it now? Is it clicking yet? Anyway. So yeah, the hypocrisy of most Christians is astounding to me. Anyway, now, here's an interesting one. Interesting passage. "I will make for you a covenant on that day with the wild animals, the birds of the air, and the creeping things of the ground. And I will abolish the bow, the sword, and war from the land, and I will make you lie down in safety." Just an interesting one to read. Here's something. This one actually applies to argument from meat eaters, because a lot of meat eaters like to say things like, it doesn't matter that they're sentient, doesn't matter that they're conscious creatures, it's meaningless. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? Yet not one of them is forgotten in God's sight. That's Luke 12:6. Not one of them is forgotten in God's sight. What does that tell you? Does that mean that you spending money on these things makes it okay? God will just ignore what you're doing because you spent money on it? Yeah. Okay. So there are some things that sort of defend meat eating, but then later it's really clear it's not that it's what God wants. It's just it's currently permitted in a way, but not really, not in spirit. And what did we talk about spirit earlier? Is it spirit or letter that's more important? Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you, and as I gave you the green plants, I give you everything. Food will not commend us to God. We are no worse off if we do not eat meat, and no better off if we do. But again, so now listen to this. It is good. This is Romans 14:21. It is good. Okay? So we're not talking about permission here. We're talking about what is good. It is good not to eat meat or drink wine or do anything that causes your brother to stumble. Let me tell you what makes me stumble about your religion. Okay? Um, that you eat meat, that you're not vegan. Okay? That you don't care. There is no way in hell that I would ever become a Christian as long as they are meat eaters. No way in hell. And so you're actually, merely by my very presence, you are convicted to stop eating meat. Okay? Do you understand that? You are convicted already. But you will not listen to your God. You will not listen to the Bible. You will not listen to me. You will not listen to your conscience, your empathy, your sense of justice or compassion. You will not listen to anything. So, yeah. So much for your religion. Whoever is, so much for your God, so much for your faith. Okay? Proverbs 12:10. Whoever is righteous has regard for the life of his beast. So do you want to be a righteous person? This is funny because I was watching this and he literally used this passage. It's Proverbs 12:10. But this is my favorite one, okay? This is my favorite one because uh, I really can't embellish this particular passage enough, okay? Because it is the most telling, okay? Your God will. I'm about to show you that your God is calling you wicked, okay? So listen up, listen up. I'm going to show you that you are wicked by your own holy book, by your own God, okay? That's exactly what's about to happen. All right, so what do what do meat eaters a lot of times say when you say when you bring up veganism? What is it? Uh, we say you're needlessly being cruel to animals. We say you have uh, you're just a torturous, evil monster, basically. And the response oftentimes is this. The response is, "Oh, but we're doing." Here it is, humane slaughter. Humane slaughter. Now let me read this. Let me read this to you. Proverbs 12:10. Whoever is righteous has regard for the life of his beast, but the mercy of the wicked is cruel. Okay? So, what is the mercy of the wicked? What is cruel? Is not being carted through a slaughterhouse, stunned and then stabbed in the throat cruelty? Would that not be cruelty due to you? Do you not describe that as merciful? Humane slaughter. Okay? Humane slaughter. You're wicked. You're wicked. That is your defense. Your defense on the day of your judgment will be, well, I'm wicked. And you know it now, okay? You're all convicted. So, yeah. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Matthew 5:7. Yeah, mercy is not carting someone through a slaughterhouse. That's the mercy of the wicked, okay? Mercy is letting things be. Romans 8:7. For the mind that is set on the flesh is hostile to God, for it does not submit to God's law. Indeed, it cannot. And it's so hilarious because preachers love to misinterpret this, talking about no, they just mean materialism by flesh. No, it says flesh. It means flesh. Okay, flesh. Your mind is set on flesh. Here it is. I mean, why don't you just eat plants? Well, I love bacon. Well, there's plant versions of bacon that you can eat. Yeah, but bacon tastes good. How about beef? Why, there's vegan hamburgers. Yeah, but I want to eat animal flesh. Okay? So what is it saying about you? What is it saying about you when your mind is set on flesh? You cannot submit to God's law, indeed. 1 Corinthians. Okay, so Corinthians 10:28. But if someone says to you, this has been offered in sacrifice, then do not eat it, for the sake of the one who informed you, and for the sake of conscience. Well, let me tell you, all of these animals have been sacrificed for you. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're sacrificing these animals for you. So, yeah. In constant defiance to God. Let's see. Corinthians 8:13. Therefore, if food makes my brother stumble, I will never eat meat, lest I make my brother stumble. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Here's a miracle. A lot of times as an atheist, I get asked the question, what miracle would it take to make you have faith in God, to believe in God? I'll tell you what. Okay, when your religion is responsible for turning everyone on the planet vegan, then I will turn to God. I swear. Okay? When your religion it becomes apparent that your religion is directly responsible for that, I will find that your religion is correct. Okay? So, therefore, if food makes my brother stumble, I am your brother, I will never eat meat, lest I make my brother stumble, and you are making me stumble, aren't you? Okay? And here's some softer ones. I mean, those are pretty hard, but here's some soft ones. Leviticus 19:26, you shall not eat any flesh with the blood in it. How many of you rare steak eating motherfuckers out there? You shall not interpret omens or tell fortunes. Well, that's just weird, but you shall not eat any flesh with the blood in it. Yeah. I'm sure that your raw meat diet has plenty of blood in it, doesn't it? Romans 14:3. Let not the one who eats despise the one who abstains, and let not the one who abstains pass judgment on the one who eats, for God has welcomed him. So, yeah. So all that anti-vegan stuff you're up to, yeah, your book tells you not to do that. Your righteousness is like the mighty mountains. Your judgments are like the great deep. You save humans and animals alike, O Lord. Now, I think we know what save means in the context of the Christian religion. And if animals can be saved, does that mean they're unable to be murdered? I wonder. Curious. And Proverbs 23:20-21. Be not among drunkards or among gluttonous eaters of meat, for the drunkard and the glutton will come to poverty, and slumber will clothe them with rags. Yeah. So, first of all, when it comes to a brave new vegan world, your cute little anti-vegan message is totally against God. And then the call to come to your religion when you don't even know what your religion is talking about. It's just absurd. You're a hypocrite. You're anti-God. Uh, it's just hilarious. I mean, it's straight up hilarious how terrible this mini documentary is. Um, one of the other tactics that he uses here is he says something that isn't bad. Like he literally just like finds some like they made meat that we didn't have to exploit and kill animals for. Dunna. It's like, okay, and is there something wrong with that? Is there something wrong with finding a workaround to causing the suffering and exploitation of animals? Is there really something wrong with that? I think you're a psychopath if you think there's something wrong with that. It's like saying, oh, well, um, you know, I would be happy to buy that tie that you're selling. We'll just use a tie. It can be any article of clothing or jacket. I would be happy to buy that jacket that you're selling, but you know, there's something missing. Uh, could you just, I don't know, make something suffer and die over it, and then maybe I'll buy it from you. I'll be okay. Can you just maybe kill a dog and spray the blood all over the jacket? Then maybe, yeah. Then maybe I can buy it from you. So yeah, that's. I have to charge my phone again. So again, these tactics these people are using are just ridiculous. Um, he goes on to complain about them using some DNA to make human DNA to make some cheese because they want to use sort of what amounts to human milk, synthetic human milk, to make cheese to cut back on allergic reactions. This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life that he is complaining, and he is complaining about it because obviously you would prefer that you don't have a food that causes allergic reactions. You'd have to be a fucking idiot to demand that. Now, for example, uh, I don't eat peanuts. I don't eat peanuts not because I'm particularly allergic to them, but because everyone is allergic to them to varying degrees and they consistently cause inflammation in whoever eats them. Now, it might be so minuscule that it barely matters, and I'm quite sure I've never felt bad eating peanuts in my life. I've enjoyed the fuck out of peanut butter, but I quit eating them because I understand that there is that allergen that all humans react to, and so I just don't eat them because I don't have to because I'm just caring about my health a little bit. But this guy's like, no, it must cause allergic reactions or I want nothing to do with it. You fucking retard. You're so fucking stupid. I this entire documentary is like mini documentary is fucking retarded. It's basically just it literally just is anti-vegan propaganda mixed with a message for proselytization of some form of Christianity. It doesn't matter what Christianity. Probably Catholicism. He sounds Irish. Though he's Catholic. I have Irish DNA, so don't think I'm making fun of them. Especially, my mother's side is half Irish, and I somewhat take pride. You can even see the red in my beard. It's kind of an Irish beard, actually. Now that I'm looking at it, and my mom's Catholic, so I don't even have anything particularly against Catholics. Other than that, I find there's fantastic hypocrisy in most religious people. So yeah, this documentary is a joke. It's just, and they love to tie Satanism into veganism because a lot of Satanists are promoting veganism and say, oh, it's the work of the devil. It's like, it doesn't matter who the fuck is promoting it. It's so fucking irrelevant who's promoting vegan. It's just a logical fallacy. Okay, there. It's a logical fallacy. Yeah. What else? They just want to draw a bunch of parallels to Soylent Green because the synthetic cheese has human DNA. They use human DNA to synthesize that cheese, so that it more closely simulates or emulates cheese that would be made by human milk, to cut back on allergic reactions. I mean, you're grasping at straws. No, there's only the religiously insane would object to this. I mean, take any random person on the planet and say, hey, this cheese, it's fake, it's synthetic cheese, and it is actually most closely like cheese made out of human milk. A lot of people are going to be like, that's kind of gross. But you put them in the right setting, and they're like, even me, even any vegan, they might give this, because technically it's vegan. People are going to be like, yeah, I'd try that. Maybe that kind of cheese is really good, especially if they see it with like a good looking recipe. Why the fuck not? You're just grasping at straws. You're religiously insane. You don't even know what's written in your fucking holy book. You're anti-God. You're just ridiculous. You're a ridiculous fool with a foolish fucking video, foolish fucking anti-vegan video. Yeah. Nothing tastes better than good karma.